For 2,000 years, the Colosseum has dominated Rome's skyline. Millions walk its arches annually, certain that every secret has been bared. Legions of scholars spent lifetimes mapping every stone and fracture of this titan. We thought the map was complete. We were wrong. In 2021, a research team pierced the soil with advanced radar. What they detected beneath the foundation left experts speechless. Beneath the arena, below the famous labyrinth explored for centuries, lay a hidden layer, something far deeper than our supposed basement. A whole unknown world materialized on their screens. To grasp why this discovery shatters history, we must first unlearn the Colosseum's myths. We must descend into what we thought was the bottom. The truth beneath the sand is far more calculated and terrifying. The foundation itself is a miracle of defiance. In 72 Anno Domini, Emperor Vespasian commissioned the Flavian Amphitheater on an impossible site. He chose a location that invited disaster. The arena sits atop what was once a massive, man-made ornamental lake. It was the centerpiece of Nero's Golden House, a vanity project born from the ashes of the Great Fire in 64. Nero drained a valley to build his palace. Vespasian drained it again to erase a tyrant and build for the masses. It was a cold political move. Land stolen for a dictator's whim was reclaimed for the people's bloodiest entertainment. But building on a lakebed is engineering suicide. The ground was saturated, soft, and ready to swallow any massive stone structure. Roman engineers met this nightmare with their favorite tools: brutal scale and volcanic concrete. They excavated a massive trench, filling it with layers of stone to create a bedrock that has survived 2,000 years of earthquakes. Opened in 80 Anno Domini by Titus, the inaugural games lasted 100 days. It was a marathon of state-sanctioned slaughter. Ancient chronicles claim thousands of beasts and hundreds of men died. Yet in those early years, the arena floor was flat. No dungeons existed, no tunnels. The arena was simply a sand pit used for combat and, incredibly, naval warfare. They flooded the floor. They sailed actual warships into the heart of the city and staged real, lethal naval engagements. How they moved that much water remains a fierce debate. Some credit an aqueduct. Others point to Nero's recycled lake systems. Regardless, the sight was haunting. 50,000 citizens watched a sea battle inside a stone bowl in a dry city. The infamous hypogeum only appeared later under Domitian in the 80s. He traded the water for a subterranean hellscape. Domitian wanted more than just combat. He wanted theater. He wanted the impossible to become real. He installed a nightmare of gears and tunnels beneath the floor. From that moment, the floods stopped, and the magic began. Romans traded naval battles for pure stagecraft. Imagine the crowd's shock as a barren floor suddenly erupted with life. Without warning, a tree breaks the sand, then a forest. Deer and bears scatter through the brush. Then, the roar begins. A lion rises through a hidden hatch. Then a rhino. Within minutes, a sterile pit becomes a lethal jungle. The audience saw no machines, only the miracle. Predators appearing like ghosts. To the Romans, this wasn't engineering. It was sorcery. The truth was a mechanical masterpiece. Dozens of wooden lifts waited in the dark, powered by a complex web of pulleys. Legions of slaves turned massive winches, hoisting cages of beasts and gladiators through the floor. It was a vertical factory of death. Camouflaged trapdoors ensured the crowd never knew where the next horror would emerge. Every second was a lethal surprise. This unpredictability was the show's drug. Below the sand lay the machinery of the macabre, beast pens and hidden armories, corridors for the condemned, and drains for the waste. A hidden city pulsed beneath the spectators, fueled by muscle and blood. Hundreds of men and beasts worked in unison to satisfy 50,000 screaming fans. It was a symphony of subterranean slaughter. The scale is nearly impossible to process. Over 4 centuries, historians estimate that up to 1 million people perished here. Alongside them, 1 million exotic animals, lions, tigers, and even hippos. An entire ecosystem was sacrificed for the mob. Cargo ships hauled leopards from Africa and bears from Germany. India provided tigers. Egypt sent crocodiles into the dark. Each species required specific cages and handlers. Hundreds of apex predators waited in the pitch black simultaneously. The stench was a physical force. Slaves bound their faces in rags to avoid the reek of rot and animal waste. A low guttural vibration rose from the earth, the collective roar of the abyss. For Romans, it was the sound of the city. A secret artery, the Ludus Magnus Tunnel, connected the arena to Rome's elite gladiator school just meters away. Men entered this stone throat alive and ascended into the sun to fight. For most, it was a one-way trip. They appeared on the floor like phantoms. To the crowd, it was magic. To the gladiator, it was his final walk. He marched through cold stone, feeling the vibration of 50,000 voices above, knowing his life would end in minutes. One darker detail is often ignored: the disposal system. The logistics of the aftermath were as complex as the show. The sand drank so much blood it had to be replaced hourly. But where did the excess go? What lies even deeper? Blood-drenched sand was shoveled through specialized floor vents, plummeting into the depths to be hauled away. Fresh grit rose on hidden lifts. The word arena literally means sand in Latin. It wasn't just a floor. It drank gore, gave killers traction, and allowed for a clean start before the next slaughter began. Deep within the stone underbelly, hidden gutters were discovered, carved channels designed to sluice away the filth. This drainage fed the Cloaca Maxima, Rome's great sewer, flushing the arena's secrets straight into the Tiber River. The lifeblood of beasts and men drifted downstream. By the 6th century, the Colosseum's heart finally stopped beating. Debris choked the subterranean levels. For 1,000 years, the maze beneath the floor vanished from human memory. Entrances collapsed. Weeds reclaimed the stone. Squatters and merchants moved in, oblivious to the world beneath their feet. None suspected a labyrinth lay below. It stayed dark and silent for 1,800 years. The first 19th century excavations peeled back the dust. Scientists were stunned by a nightmare of complex masonry. Ropes, pulleys, and cage tracks emerged. The Romans had engineered a theatrical machine of terrifying, unprecedented scale. It was technology without equal, buried for 15 centuries. Modern researchers believed they had finally mapped everything. Corridors were cleared and gears rebuilt. By the year 2000, we thought the Colosseum held no more secrets. Digital models were rendered and textbooks finished. The Hypogeum became a carefully controlled, limited tourist attraction. Access was restricted to protect the fragile ruins. The scientific community was certain. The case was closed. We assumed the floor was the end. We were wrong. Next-generation ground-penetrating radar changed the game forever. This tool rewrote history. It fires electromagnetic pulses deep into the crust, reading the echoes of the unseen. Think of it as sonar for solid Earth. Radio waves replacing sound to see through the impenetrable. Archaeologists have used radar since the 1980s, but those early ghosts were blurry and shallow. They saw shadows, not details. But the hardware of late 2010 was a different beast entirely. It slices through 30 meters of soil with surgical precision. Every centimeter of the abyss is accounted for, an X-ray for the planet. It revealed things no shovel could reach. The first results landed in late 2020. Teams from Sapienza and Stanford launched a silent hunt, scanning every inch of the Colosseum's footprint. They worked under the cover of night. No tourists, no traffic vibrations, just the hum of high-tech scanners. Moving across a precise grid, supercomputers stitched thousands of scans into a haunting three-dimensional map. The image that emerged defied logic. Beneath the legendary hypogeum lay something else entirely. Below the known elevators, 12 meters down, the radar caught massive geometric anomalies. Sharp walls, long corridors, sealed chambers. These weren't natural caves. Nature doesn't build in perfect rectangles. This was artificial. Man-made architecture buried far deeper than any history book ever recorded. What is it? Theories exploded immediately. The first, the ghost of Nero's infamous Golden House. Nero's palace was an ego in stone, spanning hills, gardens, and a massive artificial lake. It was a subterranean city of pipes, vaults, and secret passages hidden from the world. When Vespasian drained the lake for the arena, he likely buried Nero's world rather than destroying it. The second theory is more cinematic. It suggests a hidden system for the legendary sea battles. To flood an arena, you need power. Massive cisterns, high-pressure sluice gates, a hydraulic masterpiece. We knew the battles happened, but the pipes were missing. Until now. This could be the lost engine. If this radar found the hydraulic core, it solves a 2,000-year-old engineering riddle. But the third theory is the most unsettling. The radar signatures were wrong for mere stone. The pulses hit something dense, metal, or perhaps thick, ancient organic matter. With whispered caution, some researchers reached a chilling conclusion. They suspect burials. Not just bones, but organized tombs filled with weapons, steel, and gold. A hidden necropolis. A cemetery that predates the Colosseum. Or perhaps something darker. Ritual offerings. The Romans consecrated great works with blood. The Colosseum's foundation might rest on a massive sacrifice. The academic world is at war. Some see a breakthrough. Others see ghosts in the data. Radar shows us the shape of the secret, but not its face. To know for sure, we must go deeper. To dig here is to invite a logistical nightmare of red tape and peril. This is a UNESCO vault, a global icon and Italy's ultimate symbol. Altering its stone means battling a mountain of bureaucracy. Every move is scrutinized by dozens of agencies. Experts have a running joke. Securing permits here is harder than building the monument itself. Yet the work persists. 2022 and 23 saw cutting-edge scans using ultra-sensitive tech. The full data remains classified, but whispers from the inner circle confirm the truth. Massive, deep structures exist far below the known floor. Scans show tunnels snaking toward Palatine Hill, once home to the imperial palaces. These were likely secret veins, allowing the emperor to slip in unseen by the masses. Ancient scrolls mention these corridors, yet they vanished for millennia. If the radar is right, this find is monumental. It would be the greatest Roman discovery in decades. But there is a more haunting detail. Anomalies appeared on the scans. Ghostly outlines of an ancient water network. Lead and clay pipes buried 10 meters deep. This might be the heart of the great hydraulic engine, the one used to flood the arena for naval wars. Historians have been obsessed for 2 centuries. Where did the water flow? How could 80 meters of stone fill and drain in minutes? Ancient texts claim it happened. Now, we might know how. The answer is literal, buried beneath the dust and concrete, discarded when Domitian built the hypogeum. Radar also hit anomalies outside the main walls. Meaning? The Colosseum was the center of a much larger sprawling shadow city. Armories, barracks, a hospital for the broken, and a morgue for the fallen. Most were swallowed by time or the Middle Ages. The radar has likely found their bones. This could reconstruct the entire complex for the first time. Meanwhile, the stone itself is changing. 2023 saw the completion of a high-tech retractable floor. It seals the hypogeum, recreating the flat arena of antiquity. Music will echo here for the first time in 1,000 years. The move sparked a firestorm of debate. Some see a rebirth. Others see a desecration of a tomb. Yet hearing music where blood once spilled closes a 2,000-year loop. But beneath the feet of those performers, the radar warns of something else. A forgotten layer, older than the stone itself. It holds memories of Nero and his golden house. Rome sits on 20 meters of its own ghost. Every century is a new skin. The Colosseum is just the surface. Beneath it lies the foundation of a civilization. Rome is built upon its own remains. In the 1960s, the subway construction became an excavation. Line C took 20 years, not 5. You cannot dig a hole here without hitting a medieval wall or an Etruscan grave. They found Praetorian barracks under one station, an ancient irrigation farm under another. Every meter of soil hides 5 or 6 layers of history. Rome isn't just a city, it's an archaeological cake, and we are merely the frosting. The Colosseum is the ultimate prize, center stage, on land inhabited long before the Caesars. Under Nero, the Republic. Under the Republic, the ancients. Further down, the Etruscans and the prehistoric swamps. The radar maps this like tree rings, each line a century. Tourists walking the hypogeum think they've hit the bottom. They see the cages and think it ends there. They are wrong. Below that floor is another, and another. We have no idea how many. We don't know whose shadows still walk those lightless halls. Rome is deeper than any map suggests. Every floor is simply the ceiling of what lies beneath. The Colosseum, built for the public eye, is actually the world's greatest secret keeper. For 2,000 years, it stood in plain sight, hiding its true depth. Above, stone and tourists. Below, the cells of lions and men. Deeper still, structures we cannot yet name. And deeper, the untouched darkness. It is a stone manuscript, rewritten over and over. Flavian stone over Nero's gold. Gold over the Republic. The Republic rests atop royal Rome, a vertical graveyard of power. Radar just pierced the veil, revealing a hidden stratum brimming with anomalies. How many ghosts remain buried? We cannot say. But as sensors sharpen, the void recedes. Yesterday's impossible shadow is today's high-definition reality. What is invisible tonight will be undeniable tomorrow. 2,000 years of silence are ending. The Colosseum is surrendering its secrets, stone by stone. One enigma at a time, descending to the bedrock, if a floor even exists. For 2 millennia, this titan misled us. The data suggests otherwise. Below 20 meters of sediment, past Vespasian's foundations and the drainage of Nero's Great Lake, the ground speaks. It tells a different story. Underneath the Republican ruins lies an impossibility, something we cannot yet name. The Colosseum is waiting. It knows we aren't ready for the truth.